time, make sure you click on subscribe and the notification so you always know when I go live. Definitely feeling better today. And whether this was pollen or a cold, I don't know, but wanted to get out here earlier today because it's going to be a hot one today in Boston. So it's about 11:30 in the morning, and like I said, I'm here morning, sometimes at night. It just depends when I fit it in. Am I walking? But I definitely, like I said, I had this. I don't know if it was a cold or what it was slash pollen, but I definitely am doing better, sleeping better, and working on eating better. So, with that said, I had gotten a fatty liver, and when my mom, passed away, and I was her caretaker. So, with that said, I been watching that, and a lot of it is from stress, and I had a lot of stress going on during that time, and I'm just playing soccer over here, and the balls are falling all over the place. And so I made some homemade chicken soup yesterday, and I added egg to it, as I want to make homemade egg drop soup. Amazing, and I really feel like I'm getting myself better, trying to make some more food, cooking versus going out to eat. Although I love that Brazilian barbecue, I go to, and I'm keeping keto and all that, which is great. So all good stuff. So anyway, no question about hydrating and sleep and keeping it moving. All those things make a big difference, and supplementing, of course, too. So, taking my ginger, turmeric, muscadine, doubling down on that, and getting ready for my trip because I'll be going away on Tuesday. So, I tend to be walking each day wherever I'm going to be. God willing, I won't be stuck anywhere or walking in an airport like somebody asked me if I was doing last week at the mall, and I was not. I was at the mall. But anyway, it's a beautiful day here in Boston, like I said. And my name is Steve Klein. Welcome to my wellness station. I had some health issues a few years ago. Almost died taking Advil. Vomited blood. It went through me in two different ways. Was in the hospital. They didn't know if I had cancer or stomach ulcer. I didn't have any of that, thank God. But I did have a ring and a hiatal hernia. And they told me that if I didn't get on Nexium, that I could possibly develop that. So they wanted to keep checking me. I even remember going in there with the camera, sedating me, and waking up in the middle of it. I was sedated, and they couldn't do it. Horrible. But anyway, I'm off all that medicine now. I had some lab tests, I had some x-rays done, rather, and I got scared, but some of the side effects were bone loss. I said, what can I do naturally? So I really dug into that, and I got onto this high impact ginger and turmeric after going out to the store to getting Whole Foods, getting fresh ginger and turmeric, which I make into a tea, but it wasn't as strong as this. So this stuff was just amazing, high impact, and really helped me to get to a whole nother level with what I'm doing now, which is great, and helping a lot of people. So I love YouTube because I'm able to come in here at any time of the day, and I have an audience, and I have you guys here watching. And if you relate to this and you're working on your wellness, I'd love to hear a comment and where you're from. And if this inspires you to walk too, as I'm walking, I'd love to hear about that. I always been walking, but this past fall, we had a Wellness Quest challenge on walking specifically, and we downloaded this app called the Step Up app. It was great because people could be on the Step Up app around the world, motivating each other, and my goal is to do 10,000 steps. And I had kept researching that and the benefits of that. And I saw people doing 10 miles. I was like, wow, can I do that? And I started doing 10 miles a day. I was like blown away. Now, winter hit Boston, it wasn't so good. And my goal was to walk in the malls. I didn't do it. And so I'm starting again, and I'm getting up back to that point of that amount of walking. I come on here live because it motivates me, and I'm hoping to inspire you as well to be accountable. And I'm being accountable to you, my viewers here, folks that are here for the first time or for the second time and come back, friends of mine who watch this. And if, like I said, this motivates you to create your station of walking, I love to know about that, and I love to support it as well. So I do talk about all kinds of wellness things. And, going back to my story, you know, people are asking a lot of questions, as they should, as to what happened with our food and all these bad things, right? And the Industrial Revolution they started feeding the cows grains. Cows should never eat that. They should eat grass or they should eat hay. That's why you see grass fed everywhere like it's a new thing. And people want to get rid of the emissions, the farts of the cows. It's crazy. Rotate the cows around every 8 months where they poop, and feed them what they're supposed to eat, and stop being lazy. Right? It changes everything. Then the GMOs happened in the 90s. Everybody got sicker and sicker. If you go to a website called pubmed.gov, pubmed.gov, you can punch in any disease from 1990 to 2026, and you'll see it's through the roof. Okay, and if we keep doing what we're doing, it's crazy. I know that, um, they're working on that. There's new food pyramid, but they're still not right. Where the glyphosate's still existing, and they're approving this insanity. Right? That's not good for you. You don't want that, and so that's why everybody's having issues, and there's so many different issues. What I learned from these naturopathic doctors is that when the body gets the right nutrition, it'll heal itself. The problem is two things. Doctors that we have right now know very little about nutrition. That's why I just get a second opinion, or I go to a naturopath as well to ask questions, as you should too. And on top of that, the problem is absorption, blood flow, digestion, all that stuff. So when I got on this high impact ginger and turmeric and muscadine, it helped with all that. So I got results. So when I'm eating certain foods, my body's absorbing the nutrition. When I'm having a proper digestion, everything else works right. Now, yes, I got a fatty liver. During COVID, my mom started feeling, and she had dementia. And we would walk on this track together. She was still adamant about it, but we couldn't walk that much because the state we were all in, right? So I did the best I could do with her, and she wanted me with her every 2 seconds, and she wanted me to do everything she did. So I was cooking keto for her. I was strict keto, actually. I was giving her lots of supplements, and I believe that that kept her alive, right, for a while, which was great. I lost her in 2023. I'm still dealing with that, but she's with me every day. But with that said, um, you know, um, where was I? So I ended up eating what she wanted me to eat. And, sometimes we had to go out, and she wasn't patient. She developed this, how do I say it? No patience, and wanted we order food from a waitress, and she's like, "Where is it?" 2 seconds later, and I'm like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" Or if I cook something, she wanted what she wanted, so she wanted me to eat with her, and she was like, "No, you're eating what I'm eating." So I started to do that. Of course, I screwed up keto, right? Because I was strict on keto for like 8 years, and stress, right, is horrible, and that's what happens with a fatty liver. You have to relax, and and cortisol levels are like 4 times the amount when you have that issue, and it gets crazy. So it's so important to pay attention to your body and to track. So what I learned from these naturopaths is this wellness survey. It goes through detail of hard tissue, soft tissue, sugar, and digestion. And in detail, you ask the questions, and then you learn how to do that yourself. So I try to track everything, and I'm always making assessments and how to feel better, right? Like I said, I don't know if I had the pollen was bad or it was a cold, and things happened. I had stopped taking my supplements for a few days. I was intermittent fasting and trying to get some weight down. As somebody told me on here, how much do you weigh? I told them, none of your business. And my focus is about wellness, not necessarily weight loss. But the truth is, they're right. I definitely want to lose some weight. And in keto, it's inches overweight, so your clothes start fitting better. So it's kind of, I don't get obsessed with the scale because of that. But at the same token, it is a good way to look at things, right? Obviously, because we're always used to that. And it's good to feel like, okay, I did lose this weight, right? However, people say, oh, you look good. And that's always great. So with the fatty liver situation, right, the weight loss doesn't happen as quick. It definitely slows some things down unless you get some things right, like intermittent fasting, like relaxing, taking deep breaths several times a day, and, you know, getting other things together and making sure you have enough fiber, right, in your body. What I like about the muscadine capsules, I have fiber in that, extra fiber, but also leafy vegetables, like broccoli, good amount of broccoli and cauliflower, which I like, and I make those keto. So, and even though, like, I'm one of those people that likes a lot of ranch, blue cheese, and butter, those are keto, you gotta watch that too. So, some of the things I'm adding in is like I had the homemade chicken soup, which is just chicken broth mostly and chicken. I put the eggs in for egg drop, which is great. Mix it together, amazing. I have some leftovers for today. Although it's hot, I might just do egg salad. We'll see. And just watching all those things and adding in some apple cider vinegar, even for a salad dressing, a little bit in that. And it's always great. So I'm watching some of the dairy, in other words, as well. And everybody has a different situation when they're doing keto, paleo, or different health things they're working on, like a fatty liver, like I said, I have, and I didn't never had that before. So, but stress with cortisol, like I said, is crazy. And even after mom passed, I was panicked. Saying because she would wake up in the middle of the night and fall, go to the bathroom, whatever it was, and I just, backlashes of it. So, and she lived with me, so there's all those things. Anyway, all good. And if you relate to this, and you are going through something like that, I love to hear your comments about it and hear what you're going through and if this is helping you as well. So, my point on this station, it's getting hot, is come walk with me wherever you're on the world. Walking is totally free, right? At least it's something to improve your health. I talk on here about all different things on my day. Yes, it's personal to me, but I'm hoping it reflects to you as well. And there's no way every day you're going to feel good, right? Every day is a struggle with your wellness journey, obviously. But if you track and pay attention to it, as I'm trying to share with you what I learned that saved my life, I had a friend who became a mentor friend who saved my life. Remember, I almost died. And I'm so thankful for him. I saw him before my mom passed, and he passed. He had parasites. He was his wife was Japanese. I think he lived in Japan for a while. I think that did it. And it was so sad because he knew his stuff, but he was hospitalized, and some things were good by being hospitalized, and other things were not. They don't believe in natural healing. They don't believe in certain things. And I think that it's good to do both, personally, to get another opinion. And I think that a lot of things are coming out now about all that, on how people are so, hung up on one way. Of course, I'm not against medicine. You need it sometimes, but there's always a side effect on everything, and that's a fact. And if you don't think so, that's insane. But because it's a poison, right? So, like I said, I always like to look at the natural way of doing things and a track and to pay attention to your body and ask questions or dig in more for more information. Like I said, PubMed.gov is a great resource. I love it because there's so many case studies about things that you can look and you can track. So many people tell me, oh, they go on Instagram or TikTok. I saw this and this does that. I'm like, please, I don't believe any of it. I'm like, unless I see the facts and I see the backing of the case studies. That's what I like about PubMed. Then talk to me, right? And I hope that you do your due diligence as well on that. And if you hear something as to, think for yourself and do the research, cross your T's and dot your I's, right? So a lot of things we've been told are not true. And just like they said, eggs are bad for you. They're not bad for you, right? It's crazy, and they change everything up. Like cholesterol, they're so quick to give people cholesterol medication. Those numbers are like old, and there's other doctors I work with that have other, uh, information of a different blood test to take, where it's really about the sticky stuff that causes the issues. And these doctors are so easy to prescribe medicine. It's crazy. I wouldn't be on that. And with high, or high blood pressure, right? Most of the time you need magnesium, right? But a high impact magnesium. But remember, it can't work unless it absorbs properly. So with high impact ginger and turmeric that I take, it can absorb it, right? So I always say this because my mentor told me this. It's like you're driving your automobile over a bunch of nails. You got to pull the nails out of the tire so you don't get a flat tire, and then patch the hole up and fill it back up with air. And when you do that, that's the gut. That's an analogy of the gut, the digestion, and working it. And it's a constant thing because you can get another nail in there, right? So, and that's from all the bad food we have, the environment, medicines, vaccinations, you know, GM, non-GM, all the GMO foods, all that kind of stuff. So we are always in a state of doing better and feeling better, tracking and taking care of ourselves and listening to our body. So I invite you, we're having a wellness quest, starts on Tuesday. It's complimentary. If you find this to be interesting, obviously first subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss when I go live. And I appreciate that. Love to hear from you, like I said. And if you'd like to join, it's complimentary. And I'll do a health survey for you, complimentary. And it's just a support group. So we all support each other. I need you, you need me, right? And if you don't want to do that, you just want to follow me here, that's great too. I appreciate that. And we keep it moving, right? So it's always great and always great to be accountable and to learn from each other. And you could be working on weight loss, you could be working on lifting weights, you could be working on keto, sharing recipes. We have virtual workouts, we have all kinds of stuff, all complimentary. Can you believe it? And there's even prizes and stuff. So it's a great community, and people are working on different things, and it's always great. So it's always great to meet people from around the world that are on the same page and trying to be better and working on their wellness journey and their wellness quest. So thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to keep walking now, but I'm going to shut this down, and I look forward to seeing your comments, where you're from, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Over and out.